All right, guys. So it's really pretty bad for Western women, and as I've said before, I've said this many times before. There's a reason why I won't go near a Western black woman and court her for marriage. Now, I can't pigeonhole all Western black women, but when you have one of your own who is saying and who is trying to help you um actually become a better version of yourself and also help you get a relationship, but yet this help is not reciprocated in the best in the best of ways, then it goes to show you that you're only adding to your self-destruction. I think this is the whole issue that we find ourselves in. So I'm gonna go over this video that basically was a commentary video too, but I'm gonna go over the key points in which were said in the video, you know. Well, let's begin.
Right, stuff, right? How can you have these unrealistic expectations?
So this is the dating coach right here. This is the dating coach. I don't know her name, but this basically this is basically a dating coach or a relationship coach who has now given up on the relationship and dating coaching market, basically, because of what she's had to deal with. Well, let's see.
So you have not prepared yourself as a woman for that kind of man. I wanted to share that with you on why I'm leaving this side of it, because the expectations are so unrealistic. Because you can't have expectations like that and no preparation.
So, again, if you look at yeah, I'm pretty sure she caters mostly to black women. If you look at the Western black woman and what she wants and how she acts, unfortunately, that black women have attitude, unfortunately, is rooted in truth. Again, I can't speak for all of them, but when you do have encounters with them, they tend to be they tend to just basically be mad most of the time. So it's better to just kind of stay clear, because unfortunately, because of social media and other factors, the expectations are basically um the expectations are basically athletes and entertainers, but also maybe, unfortunately, guys who are involved in street activity, but not the blue collar or white collar guys who are maybe say maybe one is a fireman in the blue collar sector. Maybe the other is computer programmer in the white collar sector. Let's listen to what kind of expectations she's talking about.
The announcement comes from feminine dealing with a disagreement. The announcement comes from feminine dating coach April Mason.
Okay, her name is April Mason.
In 2013 period of time, she's wealthy men decided to close her disrespect herself as a woman because she was delusional. Black women, they had Rebecca Lynn Pope made a include new subscriber in your comment below, and I'm going to try my best to get back to all of you. Years ago, matchmaking coach Rebecca Lynn Pope made a video here on YouTube. She talked about her experience as a matchmaker and how she had to stop dealing with her female clients with unrealistic expectations. She had women requesting that she hook them up with millionaires, ballers, wealthy men. And then Iyanla Vanzant just ended her show earlier this year. Fix My Life was on the Oprah Winfrey Network for nearly 10 years. Iyanla said that she got tired of the scrutiny that she received on the show from Black women. Now feminine coach April Mason.
So you see, if you really look at it, the Western Black woman is at war with herself. And her own self-destruction is what basically is on the horizon. Now, you may think I'm bashing Black women, but if I was bashing Black women, I would be like maybe calling them out their names, maybe just insulting them in different sectors or different areas of their their being. But I'm just telling it how it is and speaking it from the horse's mouth. Now, one thing too is that sometimes these unrealistic expectations come from women who are, maybe not, maybe I should say their body is not really, their body is not really what's a good word I can use? Worthy of those expectations. So you'll have someone like Lizzo, and Lizzo will say, I want someone who's in one of the higher earning people. I don't want just a regular, normal guy. I need one of the top high earners, despite the fact that I'm overweight. But let's see what else is coming on.
She decided to close her dating academy because she was tired of trying to help delusional Black women. They had unrealistic expectations. She even said they were rude to her staff, disrespectful around us, even just from business. April Mason. She decided to close her dating academy because she was tired of trying to help delusional Black women. They had unrealistic expectations. She even said they were rude to her staff.
So here's someone who's trying to help you. Here's someone who's trying to quote unquote hook you up. You have the audacity to be rude to the staff of that person who's trying to hook you up. I mean, doesn't it come a point in time where, as the song says, you better check yourself before you wreck yourself? But I don't know if they're really thinking about checking themselves at this time. I think they're maybe thinking about other things right now rather than checking themselves.
Disrespectful, disagreeable, hard to deal with. She explained everything and put it all out on the table. Take a look. So the type of men that I'm around, even just from business, those are the type of men that a lot of women come to me for. I Barack Obama, I want a Russell Wilson. They got all of this listing, right? So,
But do you know that Barack Obama was like Michelle was there at the beginning, you know? She just didn't pop up on the scene when he became president. She was there in the struggle as well. And although I don't really like him as a president, but the thing is that the point is she was there before the presidency. In fact, there's a picture, I think, of Barack Obama studying, and you can see Michelle Obama over there kind of, just being patient. Now, as far as Russell Wilson, the reason why they probably say Russell Wilson is because when you look at the videos with him and Sierra and that relationship dynamic, as crazy as it sounds, I think women are drawn to that because of the simple fact that Sierra still wears the pants in that union. Because the thing is when you're devoted to a sport so much, you really don't you develop other skills, but your women choosing skills are still left up to question most of the time because of your devotion to the sport.
Right? How can you have these unrealistic expectations if you have not prepared yourself as a woman for that kind of man?
Well, the thing is that when you look at the situation, these women probably, and I'm not, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I will admit to it. But these women don't realize that these people that they want, like for example, they want a Jay-Z type guy, they want a tycoon, they want someone like that, right? But we have to ask ourselves, where are they coming from? Are they coming from Tyrone, Terrell, and the like thereof? Like, are they coming from situations like that? Are they coming from situations that they were dealing with these type of individuals before, quote unquote high rollers? That's what we have to ask ourselves in regards to this. We have to ask ourselves, okay, well, who were they dealing with before they requested to deal with the creme de la creme of men? That's, this is a question we have to really ponder and ask.
I wanted to share that with you on why I'm leaving this side of it, because of expectations are so unrealistic. Because you can't have expectations like that and no preparation. You don't even study men. Like, how do you want a man and you don't study even how to talk to a man?
Well, that's the thing. Black Western women and Western women in general, I don't know what to really. I question sometimes, like, okay, well, um, are these women do these women know how to be like a woman to a man? Because I remember, like, when I went to Cuba, when I go back home to Africa, and when I go to the other parts of the Caribbean. But granted, because of globalization, things are kind of like changing, things are kind of changing. I won't say that they're like completely changing over there, but it's creeping in because of like globalization and what have you. But it's not like all the way there. But women, for the most part, in these places like in Africa and Cuba and different parts of the Caribbean, they still were, they still had the traits of women, you know, old-fashioned women, shy, bashful, but very receptive when a guy would engage with them, very receptive, very, friendly. I can't say the same about Western women. Uh, the thing is that with the advent of these different media sources, with the advent of hot girl summer, and most importantly, with the advent of feminism, they don't know how to do that. They don't know how to be, just be a woman, an old-fashioned woman. So I guess you can say that, they really don't know how to talk to men. They don't know how should I say it? Also, like, I want to say, like, talk and get to know a man. Everything with them now is transactional. It's like a transaction. And unfortunately, we have to look at it as such. You may say, okay, I'm going to take you out on a date. She says, okay. But then she says, you know what? I'm going to cancel the date because the restaurant isn't like to her liking. It's not high caliber enough for her. So that's why she says she cancels. So it's just going to show you what kind of dynamics we're dealing with when it comes to unrealistic expectations.
You don't even study, how men process. You don't even study like those 7, 8 figure earners, 6 figure, high 6 figure earner dudes. They not looking for the same things, and you don't even study that. You don't even know that they can't stand a whole lot of makeup. You don't realize that now. A lot of you see in these girls on the internet and on these television shows who might be a little more not as refined. You see them and they got these big ballers, these rappers and all that. That's a different type of dude. If that's what you want, go do that. But if you're talking about dating that the CEOs or the CFOs and those kind of people, or even high earning entrepreneurs, those type of men are legacy driven men. So, but that's how I wanted to share that with you.
And and that's the thing. everything that I do, for example, with my boxing, with my reading, with my business, like my business affairs, and and right down to my selection of a spouse, which will not happen here in the United States, more or less so, unless you know I get in touch with a good family from of course African background, and their daughter has not been indoctrinated into this craziness. Everything is about it, everything has an intention in what I'm doing. I can't just like do things aimlessly. There has to be an intention behind it. And so, you know, I think with these Western women, their intention wouldn't be the same as, like, say, the CEOs that she's mentioning. Their intention most of the time is to say and to brag that, hey, we're going here, we're going to the Maldives. And to also, unfortunately, like, it really comes down to the social media attention she gets. That's the numero uno. Like, that's the numero uno thing that she's after, is social media attention, because the thing is that a lot of the Western women actually thrive when, they see comments like, girl, I'm jealous. Like, you go, girl. You're so pretty. Things like that. So a guy like, and especially me, like, once I get married, I'm not gonna want to broadcast what I'm doing with my wife. Like, to be honest, I won't even really want to show my wife on the social media. I mean, yeah, sure, she can still use it and stuff like that, but I wouldn't want her to, just like be all out there on the social media. Just to be doing that, just to be showing people like, hey, this is what's going on, this is what we're doing. I wouldn't want that. That wouldn't be conducive to like what I would like to have going on. But let's continue.
You, because I know my post has gone viral, and the fellas are sharing it. But fellas, let me help you. Y'all got some to do too, because let's not just put it on the women. But at the end of the day, women have to take.
Nah, Miss April, we gonna put it on the women, because it's the women who was giving you a hard time. You didn't have no men blowing up your customer service and cussing out your staff.
And that's true. Like, when you look at men, like, I mean, many men will probably, believe it or not, many men will give her respect for actually deciding to, how should I put it, deciding to engage and deciding to actually still give these women a chance and give these women the opportunity to, maybe find someone. You know what I mean? Like, they would still, men would still be like, well, you know what? She's doing a service to the community, so We can't even fault her for the service that she is doing for the community, you know? So with that being said, it's like the women are always going to find something to say, well, she didn't do this, well, she didn't do that. There's always going to be something. But you see with with the men, this will be appreciated for her making the effort, to create more black families, because at the end of the day, if you're matchmaking and stuff like that, I mean, I think the end goal is marriage and the end goal is families. So she's trying to create more black families, but it's not being reciprocated in the best way.
That's a topic of discussion, and the reason why you closed down the matchmaking service and now the dating academy, it was because of the women. We're not going to do the spreading of the blame right now.
Responsibility for not choosing those dudes that have a lot to do. Okay, we're responsible for who we put in our lives. Bottom line. So that's what I teach. Teach you how to choose better men, but y'all don't want that. Y'all want to go straight to the man with the money, not realizing the man with the money, he has a criteria too, and that you don't meet because you haven't studied. You just feel like because I make this amount of money, because I have a degree and I have my own, I'm deserving of that.
And the thing is that again, many men don't care about the money that you make or the degrees that you have. What is really cared about is like, can you be a woman? Can you be a mother? Can you be a, I won't say like what's a good word to say? Can you be a backbone, when the husband is going hard in the paint and sometimes gets tired and sometimes needs that assurance that what he's doing is for the better. But instead, they feel that, okay, well, I'm independent. I make this, I make that. I did this, I did that. I have this, I have that. That basically, that in that they're entitled to a big timer, That's how they feel. That's just how they act, And it's sad, but it's just the reality that we're in right now, I don't know if that reality will change anytime soon, but this is just where we're at right now, and I don't know how really what's next, I can't really say, okay, this is what's happening, this is what's gonna happen next. I don't know. But let's continue.
That man don't need you for that. So it's kind of like trying to give a cat dog food and wonder why it's not taking it. Because you're using the wrong bait. So with you using the wrong bait and coming to me with trying to make it work, I ain't got time for it. I got,
Learn about crypto and get paid as you learn with Coinbase Earn. We've paid out over 100.
It's just over 10 years of really having a passion to show women how wonderful they are by themselves as far as becoming a woman, and y'all still do what you do and still cuss out my customer service and all that because I want this and I want that.
So as you see, If they're cussing out the customer service, right? Imagine what they'll be like with a man. Now I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave him. Like I'm gonna leave his name out of this, but I really don't know. Like I had a Senegalese associate. I'll call him an associate because although we're from the same neck of the woods. He's very much an associate. I wouldn't call him a friend. But he at first married a Black American woman. He married her, had a kid by her. I already see the and they separated. They separated, by the way. They got separated. Now, I forgot who initiated the separation, but I believe it was her who initiated the separation. But I already see the dynamics playing out. When he's not with and granted, he's Muslim, granted. But I already see the dynamics when the kid is not with him, and the kid spends time with her mother. The mother turns the kid against him so much. So, there's a lot of back talk. There's a lot of unruly behavior. Feels like she can do whatever she wants to do in front of the other kids who, necessarily didn't come from or have that issue, whose parents are still together and who still have that family intact. And so it just goes to show you like the evilness and the type of things that you will deal with if you go this route, And I mean, I don't know I really don't know what made it okay for this to be the norm. Who gave the okay for this kind of craziness that we're facing, at this time. Besides the feminism, there must be some other unknown force that gave this that made this dynamic occur that we're living in right now. But let's continue.
You heard it. She said they like to call up and curse out her staff. Who else is doing that? You know who's doing that. It's her clients, Black women. It's the same problem. It's the reason why Black women have issues with dealing with Black women. It's probably the number one issue that Black men have with Black women. Talking about the mouth and the attitude, being disrespectful, hidden below the belt. April said it in her post here. Always disagreeing, always ready to fight, always being combative, and always trying to figure out how they're going to be offended so they can start an argument. They do it all.
Well, that's why I don't really bother with Western Black women. There was a group of women that, that I was associated with, but I saw how they were and I disassociated myself with them. And because of that disassociation with them, they decided to go on a smear campaign on me, but also on top of that, on top of the smear campaign, they thought it was necessary to talk about my looks, talk about my heritage, and things of that nature. Make fun of how we do like arranged marriages where we come from. And mind you, the one who was making fun of the arranged marriages was fat, sloppy, and unkept. So it just goes back to the point of, how combative, how rebellious, and how disrespectful the Western black woman chooses to be because she's been allowed to. And the sad thing is that she's not this way to any other race of men. She when it comes to a different race of men, it's like night and day, basically.
All the time. They will come under this post and say, well, you really shouldn't be talking about all black women. Or they'll say, I'm a black woman and this doesn't represent me. If the people talking about these type of black women are not talking about you and you don't fit into the category, then why are you responding as if they're talking about you?
Exactly. If, for example, if there's a post and you respond to that post and you're combative or defensive in that post, then obviously you felt some sort of way over that post. And that post hit you. That post hit you in some kind of way, and so you felt the need that, I got to defend myself because of the simple fact that, although she is talking about me, I don't want to admit that she's talking about me. So I got to say something to like maybe justify my behavior or something like that. And so this is one of the tactics that I see that a lot of these Western women do, And so rather than say, well, I do have some things I need to work on, they still decide that, no, it's not me. It's the guys, and, you can't label us all or put us all in one hole and things like that.
You know why? Because 9 times out of 10, they're talking about you. You believe yourself that you fit into the category. You are almost at the point where people do not even want to help you anymore. Way too many of y'all want to make people fight you in order to...
Well, that's another thing. When, for example, black women will say, oh, why don't black men protect us? Oh, why don't black men stand up for us? Well, if it does happen like that, then those black men are going to be looked at as weak, and also they're going to be looked at as like, yeah, you should be doing that for us and things like that. That's how they're going to be looked at. And so this is why, black men say, you know what? They're on their own. Now, granted, I don't push swirling, but if Ling Ling comes along, or if Fatima comes along, or if Lupe comes along and she's in shape, her body is good, she has her traditional ways about her, and she sees the goodness in a black man, and the great features that would make for him being a great father to future kids, then yes, she's gonna snatch him up, and she's gonna do everything to make herself available to him. So it's not, this is not gonna be a problem for a black man. A black man is not gonna really have any issue in getting a woman, or getting or marrying a woman. The issue is the black man wants to remain loyal to his own, but his own doesn't want to be loyal to him, nor cooperative to him. And, I guess you can say on code with him. My bad. You may hear some things in the background. I'm actually collecting things to put in this damn container that I need to send out. But I just decided to do this commentary while I was doing it. You know what I mean? So I can kind of stay up, since I'm very, very tired right now and should be in bed.
To get you to change. I've said this many times. You cannot mold stale bread. A lot of you are at the point that you can never change. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying I don't see it, especially if you're over 30. The key is to help the young women, to stop them and prevent them from making the same mistakes.
Well, the crazy thing is me personally, the reason why I like to read is so, like, certain terms and just certain key words I can look at and just try to get better from them. Me personally, I always want to improve. I always want to, like, progress. I always want to have something where, like, I level up mentally, I level up physically, spiritually. I always have that in the back of my head. I always want that. I always see myself that, this is something I want to do. This is something I got to do. I never see myself as, like, being stagnant. Like, I don't want to be stagnant. I don't want to always be, like, developing good character and things like that. So there's a verse in the Quran too, actually. It's basically, it says, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, I believe it's Inu Allahi Gai. I think it's, let me think. I need to read more. Or I need to jang the Quran more. I think it's Allahu la gairu qawmin hata lo gairu mafusihum. And what that basically means is that God will not change the condition of a people unless they change what's inside of themselves. So I don't, like, as she said, maybe the Western woman, and notably the Western black woman, is not going to change, or doesn't have the desire to change.
When are you gonna stop fighting and start listening? Do you ever get tired of fighting? Just stop fighting and go get help. And I'm not talking about taking femininity classes to help you fake like you're feminine or act feminine. No, I do not recommend acting classes. You are either a feminine woman or you are not. But even over all of that, get your mind right. Go and see a professional to help you figure it all out, instead of going to TikTok and Instagram. displaying your mental illness. Are black women too strong to help? I don't know. Let me know what you think below in the comments.
Well, that's the thing, and it's not just black women. It's a lot of these women, a lot of these Western women. Unfortunately, a lot of these Western women are mentally damaged and don't want to admit that they're mentally damaged. You know, the difference between a woman and a man is that a man kind of has to suck it up, you know. Like, for example, there's been a lot of things that I've seen that I shouldn't have seen, you know. There's many things that I can talk about, you know. As I said before, you know, esto loca vida mía, you know, my crazy life. But with women, they have the ability to, I guess you can say, express their feelings. They have the ability to, you know, be able to get help and be able, and not get shamed for getting help. You know what I mean? But they choose not to because they think there's nothing wrong. You know, they think what they're doing is completely normal. And, you know, we're going to see what happens as they continue down this path. But I think guys at this point should just stay on their square. And if you choose to maybe want to like settle down, I mean, you have options. Your options are open. They're not just limited to Western women, you know. And I hate to say it, but they're not just limited to black Western women, although they make you feel like it is limited to just black Western women when it's really not. But anyhow, man, that's all I got. Fool is signing out. Leave your comments. Enjoy, man.